What is up, everyone? It is Diecastbuffet here again. What an incredible day of racing. We'll be talking the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600. We'll be talking first about the NASCAR event that just happened. Ross Chastain takes the win from William Byron. What a epic Coca-Cola 600. Oh my goodness. Make sure to give the video a huge thumbs up. Let's talk Charlotte Motor Speedway. Wow. So a brand new era in NASCAR began tonight. It was the first ever streamed only NASCAR race on Prime. We'll be talking all about the new broadcast and my honest thoughts about it. We got so much to talk about. This is going to be a good one. And yeah, our little light, we're going to do blue. That's the darkest blue my little light over there has. You know, Ross Chastain wanted a blue car. Anyways, what an incredible race, man. You know, it wasn't as chaotic as 2022, but man, William Byron and Denny Hamlin going at it for literally hundreds of laps was just amazing. I mean, if Byron was leading, Hamlin was second. If Hamlin was leading, Byron was second. It felt like old school, like Nextel Cup high-speed racing at the 1.5 miles. Like, it reminded me a little bit of like Tony Stewart and Kevin Harvick at the Brickyard. Just two insanely talented drivers just going at it every corner on just a razor's edge of control, not wrecking each other, but just doing everything but wrecking almost. It was remarkable to watch. 70% of the race, fantastic stuff. Just a remarkable run. William Byron clearly had the best overall car. I mean, Larson might have had a better car, but we won't really know. He unfortunately crashed out early. I think he was probably way too aggressive, to be honest with you, early in the race. It's a 400-lap race. Getting in the wall around lap 30 was, or lap 30 or 40 is probably not the greatest idea. But that's bit Larson, unfortunately, in the past at Homestead, where he would run the fence and he would run it really early, hit the wall, and those cars in like 2016, 2017, give or take, were all sheet metal, the sides of it. Well, guess what? Once you bent it, it was cooked. Well, the next-gen car, you can bend it a little bit and it'll pop back out. But unfortunately, it bent the suspension. And that's why if I was a team, I wouldn't even run the wall until it actually matters. I don't care how talented it is. All it takes is one bump on the racetrack and you're cooked. So that's really unfortunate for the 5 camp. He would be running a little bit later on after the wall hit. He was still up front. And then he inevitably spun out. The car had more wrong with it, possibly from the wall hit, but kind of what happened there. So we don't know truly if it was Byron or Larson that had the overall best car. I think Hamlin clearly had a top 3 car. He ran out of gas, had a pit early with about 15 to go. And you had this 10 to 15 lap stretch between Ross Chastain, a late bloomer in this event. He ran really good all night, but clearly not truly. You didn't truly think he was going to win this race at lap 100, right? And Byron had the lead. And let me tell you, William Byron had an absolute old-school 1998 Jeff Gordon type of night. He won all 3 stages. Yes, I know they didn't have that back in the 90s, but let's just keep it real. So he had he won all 3 stages. He led 283 laps, I believe, out of 400 in the Coke 600. Wow, that is impressive. And he loses the lead with about 7 to go. I don't know if he just, his tires fell off, he got really tight and had the lift. I think Denny Hamlin, he was trying to get around him because Hamlin pitted and he was on fresher tires. I don't know if the dirty air from that car might have slowed him down, but Chastain, he was hard charging with about 10 to 15 to go, and then he just, he used up his tires. And then Byron looked like he had it. And then, boom, here comes Hamlin. Maybe it was just a coincidence. I don't remember, if it was too close to call, if it actually affected him. I don't think it truly did. And Byron was cooked. Chastain went around. And I hate to say it, but he kind of threw the race away, to be honest with you, unfortunately. So I feel for the Byron fans. I like Byron, so it's been a long day. I'm sorry. I'm on my 3rd cup of coffee. And Chastain took it, 5 to go, held off Byron. Byron tried everything he could. His car was cooked. wins the freaking Coke 600. Ross Chastain, what a run, man. What a run. This is massive for his career. Trackhouse, they were clearly on the decline this year. SVG, a lot of, rookie mountains to climb here. He's clearly getting better. He actually had a pretty good run going in the Coke 600 tonight, running around the 20th position. I don't know where he finished. I was focused on the leaders, but he had a pretty good run going. Daniel Suarez unfortunately got caught up in a wreck that actually knocked out Larson. It's just hard racing. It happens. Larson had the rear of his car destroyed. And that pretty much ended his night, where he finished, I think, 38th. So it was a rough night for Hendrick, because Larson qualified second. He was knocked out. Byron had one of the greatest dominations in recent history of NASCAR. I mean, he dominated the Darlington Spring race, and they found a way to give it away. And they gave this one away. So that's really unfortunate for Hendrick, because, I mean, they had this race in the bag. That would have been a really cool race to win Diecast, but the Ross Chastain one's going to be incredible. Make sure to pre-order that Diecast over there at Circle B. You could use that promo code if you like. You could save on shipping. You don't have to. And, hey, they got a bunch of new 164s over there. New Diecast haul coming this week. Stay tuned for that. That'll be a lot of fun. Wink. I'm just saying, I don't know what day it's going to air, but expect an incredible Diecast haul. So now, my honest thoughts of the Coke 600. It was fantastic. It felt like a classic. It didn't need 80 cautions for it to be fun, even though that would be kind of fun. But the battle between Hamlin and Byron throughout most of the race, I mean, it felt like old school NASCAR. Like, it felt like a Jimmy Johnson 2010 against like Denny Hamlin or Kyle Busch or Kevin Hart, whoever, just juggernauts going at it for a win. It was remarkable. Fantastic stuff. Time to talk about the Indy 500. So obviously the biggest story, which for NASCAR fans would be the Kyle Larson double. Kyle Larson's car really didn't have that much speed in it. I felt like last year his car was faster. He did crash the test car. They did crash before qualifying. Was it practice or qualifying? So they were already kind of behind the 8-ball. And just, he was, running about 20th, 25th, 15th, give or take. And then unfortunately he loses control of the car. I think he shifted or downshifted and wrecked. The entire race was weird. Like, the first 60 laps of the Indy 500 were just bananas. I mean, literally, you had McLaughlin, who spun out on the pace laps of the freaking Indy 500, and it was hard to watch at first, because I'm like, this man just threw away an Indy 500 on the pace laps, and he's crushed, and I felt really bad for him. But that just set the tone for the day. That was a heavy hitter already knocked out, and then Scott Dixon had damage. So that's two legitimate contenders for the Indy 500 cooked before the green. It was bananas. And oh, by the way, before they even had the green flag, they had like a 30-minute delay for, you guessed it, rain. So now they're interviewing Tony Kanaan, which is one of my favorite IndyCar drivers, and they're talking to him that he might actually get in the car. And I'm like, whoa, we get a TK Indy 500 again? Hold up. I didn't want Larson to get out of the car, but if your release driver is Tony Kanaan, it's not exactly a bad choice. But it put even more pressure on Kyle Larson. Goes out there, does everything he could, and just, once again, Indianapolis has this interesting thing of, it is so unforgiving to certain drivers for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. You can look through all the different generations of drivers that have driven there. It has a interesting way of humbling people, rewarding people, and making people feel very emotional. Good, bad, ugly, it does not matter. Indianapolis is just, it's built different. And I feel for Kyle Larson, because a lot of people are going to take this opportunity to really harp on him, I feel like, unfortunately. And I'm just saying, just attempting the Indy 500 is a feat of its own, just to make the show, right? And then to go out there and be able to not only be competitive on the Cup side, but then jump into the Indy car and be competitive and make the race. And just be able to drive a car at 240 miles per hour is absolutely respectful. I don't think the team had that great of a car for him this year, but Larson clearly still has a lot more to learn, unfortunately, with the IndyCar. But as a huge Larson fan, I enjoyed it. I truly hope he gets another chance to run the Indy 500. He did mention a little bit about, hey, maybe down the road we can run it back. He didn't say 2026 or 2027 or anything. If I had to guess, I have no idea, because I'm just going to keep it real. The people who run IndyCar want Larson in one of those cars because they saw the data for viewership, ticket sales, merchandise. They see that, right? They see even the people who watch the practice shows, right? They understand that having a cup star like Kyle Larson, regardless how he performs, just having him at Indianapolis in the month of May is a huge deal. So if it's not with McLaren, Hendrick obviously has to kind of sign off on it, but I feel like if it's not through McLaren, there's another Chevy team that would find a way, even if Penske had to help out, to get Larson in a car, because it sells tickets. I know the third year in a row wouldn't sell as much. It wouldn't be as interesting, but it would still move the needle. I'm just keeping it real. So I do hope he gets another shot, but who knows if he will. So we put that to the side. The actual racing, man, let me tell you, it was fascinating. Alex Palou, I actually picked him to win the Indy 500. You can check out my short on that. I don't take any credit for it, though. Any predictions I get right, I don't take any credit for it. I give that to God because I don't deserve a darn thing. But that was interesting. And this is why I stay humble, because I picked Larson to win the Coke 600. The dude crashed while leading, man. So it's like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? You get one of them right, like, oh, nope, don't get ahead of yourself, right? Stay humble. That's why, fellas. That's why. Anyways, I know my hair is absolutely a mess, and I probably sound like a very, very tired animal right now. I get third cup of coffee, okay? It's been a long day. So anyways, my honest take on the Indy 500, it was a good finish, good racing, a lot of chaos, a lot of drama. Had the whole Penske thing going into the event. It felt like kind of like a classic Indy 500 in a way. Like, I feel like this event, 20 years from now, if time doesn't end by then, people are going to look at the 2025 Indy 500 as one of the most interesting ones in history because of all the storylines. Newgarden going for his third one. And he literally had everything lining up to win 3 in a row. And then, what is it, like a fuel pump or something fails? I mean, it's never like, oh, the entire engine failed. It's probably something so small within a fuel pump or around it that fails. It could be a gasket. It could be literally anything on that car that goes wrong. And it's insanity, right? And the streak of only or no 3-time in a row winners continues. That streak's been going on for a long time. That continues. Then you had, of course, Takuma Sato. He could have got his third Indy 500. Helio going for the 5th one, right? And then Larson. And then with the rain coming in, there was a legitimate talk he might have to leave the race early. So that was a storyline there. And then, of course, Palou, might be the best driver right now in the series, statistically speaking. He wins the Indy 500. Ericsson had a shot at the end. It was fun. I do say the finish was a little bit bittersweet, not because of who won, but because of the lap down cars, or I don't know if they were battling for the lead lap or they were already a lap down, but they were up front, okay? And Palou was able to draft off those cars. For those who don't really watch IndyCar racing, not to be long-winded here, but they draft insanely well. You think stock cars draft well. Indy cars, man, they draft really, really good too, okay? And basically, he had a free drafting partner is what I'm trying to say. I want to say this happened in NASCAR in 2003 at the Daytona 500 Waltrip. I could be tripping on the race, but I remember Dale Jr. was a lap down, and he was helping Waltrip out. It was something like that. I'm not saying the lap down cars were intentionally helping. It's just being in front of the leader helped them out. He was able to save fuel. Ericsson couldn't get a run. It would have been interesting to see if they maybe would have duked it out, kind of like Alexander Rossi, Simon Pagenaud style. But it was a good race. I enjoyed it, and I definitely look forward to the 2026 race, hopefully. I'm I mean, you never can count, what's going to happen tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm still here on planet Earth. But, man, I love the double, man. It's so much fun. I hope Larson runs it again. The Coke 600, the Indy 500, the pageantry. My quick, honest take on Fox's coverage of the Indy 500, I'm going to shoot you straight on it. It felt like a 2001 NASCAR race for a bit because there was so much like Fox was showing you all these new things, like, oh, here's our new pit reporters, here's our new camera angles here, here's all these new features for the broadcast tool. I've watched a lot of the 2001 Daytona 500, the speed weeks, the practices, the qualifyings, and you kind of get a little bit of a feel from that. So it felt like a little bit of 2001 Fox in 2025 in the regards of just showing a brand new audience all the different tools and gadgets they have. Did they do the same quality of work? No, I don't think they did. But it did kind of remind me of that a little bit. They didn't show the wreck at the end of the race, which I thought was bananas. In fact, I still haven't saw what happened to the last driver. The race ended under caution. They still haven't showed it. So I don't know about that. Okay, our last talking point in today's video. Amazon's first ever NASCAR race. I have been anticipating this race for the first Amazon race for a while. And I've been saying on the channel ever since they announced they were going to be having the Coke 600 that if you watch Thursday Night Football, you will see a very high quality product, right? Lots of production, a lot of stuff that happens during the week leading up to the football game. You'll actually see on Thursday Night Football. A lot of, behind the scenes, they do a lot of work, right? It's not just, oh, we're at the racetrack, boom, 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 go. They actually did a lot of polishing, so to speak, to make this broadcast really work. The pre-race show, fantastic. Love seeing Carl Edwards. Fantastic pre-race. Commentary, love them in the booth, man. Fantastic. I mean, they were working together very, very well. I expected them to work really good. I mean, we obviously know Steve and Dale are going to work together really good. They've been doing NASCAR races for like 8 years now, right? They were at Hendrick for a gajillion years. So we knew that was there, but they gelled perfectly, I think, in my opinion. Adam Alexander has this interesting way of, he could put anyone in the booth with him, right? And he has an interesting way of kind of breaking the ice and getting the other personalities in the booth to open up and talk about what they know. And it really works. I've seen a lot of Xfinity races with him in the booth. And it doesn't matter who they put in there. He gets them to laugh. He gets them to open up and find topics during the race that they can excel at, while Adam Alexander will do the heavy lifting. And they did a fantastic job with it. The broadcast graphics, fan-freaking-tastic. Loved it. It felt professional. It felt modern. To be honest with you, it felt like if NBC, let's say NBC wasn't in the sport for like 10 years and they came back with a brand new package, that's what it felt like. It felt like the third generation of NBC. You had the late Winston Cup, early Nextel Cup era NBC. You had the Sprint Cup era NBC, then Monster Energy Cup, then NASCAR Cup. If this was like the third generation of NBC, that's what it felt like to me. Very professional, very modern. I don't even think they mentioned the playoffs or anything like that once. But it also had a little bit of a sprinkle of TNT from 2014, that being Adam Alexander, and the graphics really reminded me of it. The streaming quality, it's going to depend on your internet. It's going to be depending on the device you use. But for me, it was fantastic. Pretty much no issues at all. So thank you for that, because if they would have had massive streaming issues, a lot of bugginess, it would have been bad. Again, it depends on your internet. So if you had issues, it's probably a regional thing, unfortunately, or what device. Like if you use, because you can use different devices, your phone, your computer, whatever it is, that does possibly affect the streaming quality. So I've heard. So you might have to look into that if you had some streaming issues there. Overall, pretty much perfect. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was perfect. And I just say that the new energy they brought to the booth, the excitement, but the professionalism was so much fun. No cartoon caricatures, no goofiness. And you know what was the funniest thing? It was deadgum 45 to go in the Coke 600, and they kept appearing on the screen no commercials till the checkered. They popped this thing up 5 different times. It was almost like, it was like they know the fans hated what happened at Talladega when they went to caution with 6 laps to go and they were racing under green. 45 to go at the Coke 600. We're going no commercial to the end, and they lived up to it. Not a single commercial, not a side-by-side, nothing. Massive W, Amazon, keeping it real. Massive W. I think they nailed it. The only thing I have concerning is, can they keep this, and will they keep this level of energy and professionalism for the next week and the next week and the next week? Are they going to go to Nashville? Are they going to go to Pocono or Michigan and just say, well, we're going to do a remote booth. We're just going to sit here and we're going to keep it very monotone and not care. Don't do that. I hope fans enjoyed the broadcast. I loved it. I know it's extremely hard to please everybody, and you'll probably never please everybody. But for me, I loved it, man. It was fantastic. You could tell just by watching the practice session on Saturday, this wasn't a Fox broadcast. I'm just keeping it real. It literally felt like NBC was calling the Coca-Cola 600, and I loved it. If they keep this level of professionalism, I sincerely hope for 2026 they find a way to get more races on their calendar. I don't know how the TNT portion is going to go. I don't know how Nashville is going to go. But if they do what they did the Coke 600 and they continue this, 1,000%. They smoked it. A lot of people said CW was really good. I agree. Except for the fact that my affiliate airs in 480p. But that's besides the point. Amazon, much better, in my opinion. Wow. I thought it was great. What do y'all think? Sorry for this video taking forever. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. What a great day of racing. Ross Chastain and Alex Palou freaking win on the double here. That's crazy. Will Larson run another race at Indy? Who knows? It's going to be interesting. And then the next race being, get this. When is the first time this has happened? Had 3 night races on a NASCAR weekend. The truck race, the Xfinity race, and then the Cup race. I think all 3 of them are night races. I can't remember the last time this has happened except for the Bristol night race. Maybe Martinsville? Maybe, I don't know. And when I say night race, I'm not talking about, oh, it started at 2 o'clock and it ended at 6. I'm talking like it was, started 6 o'clock, give or take. I love it. More night races, please. Watching these cars run 1.5 mile tracks at night is just amazing. I miss it. I grew up watching so many 1.5 mile night races. Texas, Kansas, both Charlotte oval races. Please, let's have a second oval Charlotte race. Enough of me rambling. Thank you all for watching. Have a blessed one. Diecastbuffet. Congratulations to the Palou fans and the Chastain fans. DB, signing off.